Hi guys, welcome to CYC. My name's Nathan Hayes, and today I want to go through an argument for marriage that you probably have not heard before. Sounds kind of arrogant, but I really don't think so. And why does this relate to creativity or anything like that? It really doesn't. I will try and tie it in at the end because it affects everyone, and love obviously is a big inspiration for creativity and a drive for trying to there's all that sort of stuff. But just strictly speaking, it doesn't. So just kind of listen at your leisure. This is just kind of an interesting thought. So the thought is that life is difficult. Life isn't naturally good, and we're just trying to optimize it and perfect it. And if we get up at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever, and have our cold showers and do our 10-minute journaling and half an hour meditation, and you're just systematizing all of it to perfect life, because life is naturally perfect if only you just follow the rules. No, that is the quickest way to depression ever if you believe that. There's a natural suffering to life. There's a natural kind of drag or negativity to just being here. Okay, we'll get off the negative bandwagon there. If we accept, or if we're okay or intuit that life has a certain amount of natural suffering, has a certain amount of challenges, and always will. There's no real way of kind of immunizing yourself from it or defending or barricading yourself from it. You will just naturally come across obstacles, challenges, difficulties, both outside, in the world, and within yourself, because you're in this monkey meat bag that has genetics and biology that is programmed just for a different life, isn't custom made for this type of living, and it's going to run into some software and hardware issues. Accepting all of this, okay, so we haven't even touched on marriage. Accepting all of that there are challenges, it would be logical to say that an outside perspective is beneficial, would help you strive forward, move, get through the challenges a little bit easier, or just with a bit more objectivity. If you had a third person there looking at how you behave and all the rest, and it wasn't colored by your own internal, sure, of course I'm a good person, or of course I'm not, I would never do such a thing, or whatever. Third person might be just actually, you're not that good, and yeah, you might actually do that if your actions indicated it. Whatever, getting sidetracked. So a third person would be advantageous. The problem is a third person has their own motives, has their own kind of wants, wishes, desires, needs, and that might colour their perspective, and it might overrule you, it might get in the way. For them, it might be really important for them to get financial security, and your mental well-being, or your fun hobby that you have, or your friend group, or whatever, might just be in the way. And if they're being totally self-serving, they might forget about your side of it, forget about your friends, forget about your hobbies, forget about these times you need to decompress or cool out or whatever. Forget about that, take what they need, and get the financial stability that they want. So that would be a negative marriage for sure, or a negative relationship. But here's where marriage comes in. And I mean marriage without divorce. Marriage is chaining yourself to someone else, no matter what, for better or for worse, literally. There is no getting out of this contract. It is not something that will make you a better person. It is not something that will just fulfill you, fill that hole that you have in your life, and you will just be complete now. This argument for marriage doesn't go near any of that, and doesn't even have the partner really as a positive. It's just another person, and their perspective is quite useful sometimes. Chaining yourself to another person makes them part of your baggage, your crew, if you want to put it that way, your group, your tribe, your whatever. And if you have a weak link in the tribe, it kind of drags you down. So what this results in, if you will say relationship, the dad joke, we're on a ship and there's a big wave coming or whatever, and you're both chained together. Now, self-servingly, you could throw the other person off, move the ship a bit faster and get out of the way of the wave. But you can't, because you're chained now. You're stuck. And if you throw them overboard, you drown too. So you have to face it together. Because what else? Okay, so put this into kind of more realistic or real world terms or whatever. You have some sort of argument because they are spending too much money on drink, or they are playing video games for too long, or they are starting to get overweight and you're kind of concerned about them, or they are getting in with the wrong crowd socially, or whatever it is, and it's affecting you. They had like a big blowout because they're upset about something on their side or whatever, but it affected your side, it affected your job or your friend group or your family or whatever. It seeped over and you're just like, no, we can't have this. So here's where the pessimistic argument for marriage comes in. You can go to that other person, go to your partner, your husband or your wife, and say, you're an idiot. How dare you do this? Look at what you did. You upset all my friends, all my family. You upset these guys. If you want to be messy, you can do it yourself, but don't you dare affect my life. I'm doing well. Don't F it up, or something like that. Call them an idiot. Say, how could you be so stupid for forgetting this thing? How could you be so stupid for not seeing that you're going to hurt these people? How could you, whatever other way. But either way, you're blaming, you're saying, hey, you're the problem. You need to fix it. I will help you if you want, but like, come on, you're being an idiot. That's essentially it. And that is, like, you've won the argument. You had a point, like, obviously, like, they did F up. And now you've won the argument. So you've won, they've lost. But now you're married to a loser. Because if that happens repeatedly, they're going to become either just submissive as all hell, or they're going to resent you, or they're going to be, like, that can manifest in 100 different ways of trying to sabotage you because you're just a dick when you're right sometimes, or like whatever it is. But you're stuck with them. And if you beat them down, they're going to rise up, or else they're just going to be not worth, that's a risky one. They're going to like be submissive or whatever, and you're going to, because you want a partner, you want someone that engages with you and all the rest. And if you've just beaten them into submission, now you're just minding them. Now, they're not helping you, because they'd never dare challenge you, even if you made a mistake, because they just wouldn't. Okay. So the healthy kind of version of this is that something happens. It doesn't really matter who it is, you or them. And you're going to say, hey, by the way, this behavior is screwing up our lives. Like me and you. So we're going to use the puppet analogy as well. Where consciousness, our puppet, is the biology, the history, the predictable behavior, the patterns, the addictions, the silly desires, the defense mechanisms, all that sort of stuff. And the consciousness is the thing that looks at it and says, like, that's interesting. I want what's good in the world. I want you to be happy. I want me to be happy. If I had the choice and I could do it without affecting me, I would of course do it. Or, the angel we think we all are, basically. So the conversation in marriage, ideally then, would be a conversation between the two consciousnesses about the two meat sacks, about the two puppets. Does that make sense? Two people, you have the consciousnesses behind them, and what you're ideally trying to do is get the consciousnesses, I'm saying that word too many times, to talk to each other about the puppets, about our biology, our history, or whatever, and say, hey, to the other person, you're after doing this and it's grating on me, and like honestly I don't think I can process it or tolerate it, to be honest, and like I'm sorry about that, but it's just there's some wiring here that's and like I know it's not out of a bad place. I know you're, say, drinking or playing games, or you're just being a mess. Okay, we'll take being a mess because maybe there's a bit more fault in that. You're being a mess, you're lashing out, you're being aggressive and snappy and all the rest. Talking to that person and say, hey, you're going through something. Like, I don't know what it is, but I know for sure that your snappy, angry behavior isn't the person that I saw. Isn't, like, that's something that I think you will also agree you would like to correct. I don't think you want to be that person. And I don't want you to be that person. Like, ideally, but like, you let me know if you're okay with this. I don't know, maybe I'll have to deal with it or something like that. But like, I truly believe that you don't want to be aggressive and all the rest. I don't think you want to raise our kids in that sort of environment. Like, I don't think you want their mom or dad to be that person or to be seen like that. I think you ideally want to be more kind of like, you're funny and all the rest. I think you want to be remembered for those things. And unfortunately, negativity overrides positivity half the time, because what scares us is far more important to our survival than what makes us happy. And therefore, it sticks out more, especially to kids. So, I want, whichever version of yourself you want to be, I want to help you. But I just don't think this is the version you want to be. Help me out. Like, what can I do? Or do you have a plan in place at the moment? Is this a short time frame? Is this and then you start problem solving. And at no point does that other person feel personally attacked. You are not making them a loser. You are trying to build them up. Because why would you ever suffer anything less than their best version? You are now chained with them. And you want, if you are in a tribe, in a gang, in a whatever sort of, I won't say cult, but I'll say like clan for like games or something like that. You want to have the best characters, the best people, the best whatever in your group. And your partner, whoever you're married to, husband or wife, is a key piece to whatever group you're in. Because they have way too much power. So they have to be strong. You have to make them strong. And they have to make you strong. I'm not saying this is a one-sided thing. You expect the exact same from them. That when you are messing up, that they will say to you, hey, by the way, you're coming across wrong here. As in, like, you were talking to that person and you said something, and I don't know if you meant to be defensive, but it just kind of came across that way. So, like, I'm sure they'll be fine, but I'm just saying, if you're picking up that topic again next time, maybe just kind of phrase it differently or something like that. I don't know. It's your thing and all the rest. I don't know, but that's just how I picked it up. And maybe that's my fault as well. Like if you're happy with that, it's okay. But I want you to be as strong as possible. I want to make you as strong as possible. And I'm going to point this out. And you are still the decider. I'm not trying to force anything on you. I'm not trying to say you have to be the person I expect you to be. You are in a much better position to know who you are, what you want, where you're going, and all the rest than I am. All I'm saying is, from a third person perspective, this came across a bit defensive. This came across a bit callous. It was funny, but just read the room a little bit better. This came across as just aggressive, like overly aggressive, like physically aggressive, rather than, I know you're just trying to be stern. That can be a common one if you're correcting a male when they're correcting their kid. That's a big one. But whatever. And there's 100 other things. Because there's so many errors. There's so many ways that we're built for a different world. Because we're built to be adaptable. We're built to be like whatever. And sometimes we perceive danger where there isn't. And we respond as if there is. And there's a ton of reasons. There's a ton of stuff around this. But the main thing is, you are chained to that person. If you win in the argument and you make them a loser while doing so, you are now married to a loser. Congratulations. Who wants that? If you are trying to do anything but build them up to be the best that they can be, you are handicapping yourself. Because why would you ever suffer an idiot, an imbecile, someone that's naive to social situations, someone that doesn't understand why someone works this way or talks this way or does whatever? Why would you... whatever. And core to this whole thing is that love is not about accepting you for all of you. Love is about bringing out your best part. And that hopefully before you get married, you should agree on who you should be able to put forward the other person's argument for their best self. Because that's who you're going to be trying to bring out for the whole time, for the whole marriage, for the rest of your life. You're going to be bringing out what they think is their best self. And that will change. But there's some fundamental principles that you need to agree on. Whether which is more important, truth or happiness. I know that doesn't sound big, but take like cheating, for example, or something like that. If you are in a very happy marriage and it's been going for like 30 years and someone cheats, would you like to know? And I mean, would you actually, like, as in everyone's going to say like, yeah, I want to know, but like, do you actually want to know? Because it's painful. Because truth is painful half the time. And that's a one-off circumstance, or hopefully one-off. That's one instance. If you were in the Matrix, would you take the red pill? Would you go into the real world and eat that crappy porridge stuff and be attacked by robots like 24/7? Would you actually want it? Yes, it's true, but like, it's a painful life. Do you actually want to know that your parents make you into a certain way? Do you actually want to know that this friend makes you a dickhead? Even though you love the friend and you love being with them, and there was a time when you were just like brothers or sisters or whatever, you were so tight-knit, and now their life's just fallen a different way to yours, and they bring out just a bad side, make you just a bit more callous, a bit more just whatever, and it doesn't fit who you actually want to be. Do you really want to know that? Or do you want to be left alone? To be like, I'm with my friend, can you just let me be? That'd be choosing happiness over truth. That's one dynamic going on. And there's a ton of other virtues that you might want over another. But that's it. That's the whole argument. I think I've done it okay. I know it's a long one, but I love this argument for marriage because love and romanticism just isn't mentioned. So even for the people who are just like, why do we need to get, like, if we love each other, we just say we love each other, what's the point of marriage? This is the point of marriage. This is the only answer I've really found to that question. Because every other answer is like, so everyone recognizes. And it's like, we can just tell everyone so that you announce it in front of God. It's just like, yeah, well, not everyone believes that anymore. Or it's definitely not as important to people anymore. So like, what's the purpose of it? The purpose is to be stuck. That's the purpose. So that you are guaranteed that the other person does not disable you, does not handicap you, does not maim you for the rest of your life by saying something or making you feel a stupid way. They have to build you up. And if they don't, they are only sabotaging themselves because they are stuck with you. And you are doing the exact same to them. If you do anything but build them up, you are sabotaging yourself. And you're a feckin' idiot for doing it. Because why would you? Okay? So, that's it. That was kind of fun. I love that argument. If you have heard it before, please let me know. It's kind of, if you want to know where it's come from or whatever, it's an extrapolation from Jordan Peterson's kind of argument on marriage. He said something similar to it, and then I've just kind of read more and kind of articulated it slightly differently, I suppose. But yeah, so that's it. I don't know what I want to say you should get from this. Just whatever you do get from it, just, again, let me know. I just hope it makes you stronger in whatever way that is. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, so that's it for today. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.